I have just received the 4th drawing board and I'm configuring it for Jumbo 4. It's exciting because the Jumbo 4 can handle large diagrams, 22 feet. I picked the configuration 4 boards in a row. The boards all bolt together with a spline. Here's some of the selections I'm going to show. This 18-foot canoe diagram fits nicely on the 4-board setup. Here I've shown the boards 4, 3, 2, 1. This is what the sides will look like when they're cut out. I'm using 2018 Jumbo Trace, and I've selected Tracing Polylines. You can see on the screen there the 4-board layout. The big difference for me using the Jumbo 4 is the amount of distance I have to travel from one end to the other, walking back and forth to the computer. Good exercise. I have the computer set up at board number 4, so when I get over to board number 1, I'm 20 feet away from the computer. I find it amazing. John Walsh's software goes from Jumbo 3 to Jumbo 4 to Logic Trace 2018. It doesn't matter how many boards are hooked up, the software connects them all. I want to talk here about reference points. It's worthwhile to input 2 reference points, because if you ever have to move your diagram because of the drawing area around the null area, you just shift it over a couple of feet. It's not a problem. You just redraw that spot where you missed in that null area. The software handles it. You can see here where I'm tracing the boat bottom. I placed an orange pencil mark showing the joint between the 2 boards because you don't want to digitize those spots because it's not going to pick up. So to remind myself, I just put 2 orange lines. I'll show you that later. As usual, I save my work frequently. I create the DXF file frequently, just in case something doesn't go right and I have to go back and edit that portion. Here I'm showing the orange lines which are on either side of the joint between the 2 boards. You skip that area when you're digitizing because it will not pick up between the 2 boards on the joint. But because you've inputted the reference point, you can actually move your diagram over and redraw that section. But in this case, with a boat bottom, it's pretty straightforward. In this selection, I'm only going to draw half the boat bottom and use the command mirror. I'm going to mirror image the other half. You can only use the mirror image selection when the diagram you are tracing out is equal on both sides, like a violin, like a canoe, or like a circle. It sure does speed up your tracing technique. And again here, I save my work frequently. I create the DXF file. Now I'm going to select the point selection, and this will create a series of points as we touch the pen all around the boat bottom. As you'll see in a lot of my videos, I'm a big user of tracing with polylines. But I have people ask me, what are the other selections for? Well, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Lines and arcs is very good when you're drawing a line and come to an arc. The software provides a selection of tracing techniques. Here in the 2018 Jumbo Trace, I selected Tracing. The combination selection allows you to select line, arc, or tracing. Gives you the option of using all three. Now that we've traced the canoe bottom, we're going to start working at the canoe sides. We're only going to trace or digitize one side, as both sides on the canoe are equal. I selected lines and arcs. The canoe side diagram, you can see it there, it's straight on the bottom, but it's got a gentle arc on the top. So lines and arc selection is a good selection because of that large arc. Again, just like I did with the canoe bottom, I'm going to go through all the different selections for tracing to do the canoe side. Here I've selected polyline tracing. You can see here where I skip over that section between the two orange lines. And that section is where the two boards join together. I call that the null area. Creating a DXF file. I'm going to try the point selection on the canoe side. Now we're going to take the DXF files that I created, we're going to load them into Vectric Aspire 10.0, have a look at the vector quality, and see if there's any node editing required. Once I'm happy with the files, it's here that I would create a toolpath for the CNC cut. I like to run Vectric Aspire Simulator just to see how it's going to look when it's cut out. Here's a shot of what the sides would look like assembled, and also the sides and the bottom being applied and trimmed off. This is my summary, and I just can't say enough for the Jumbo 4.